Good morning, everyone, and very warm welcome to the next session of the Welsh Planner Live. Very warm welcome to you all. This is a week of sessions celebrating planners and planners looking at climate change. And today we're very pleased to be welcoming Julie James, the Minister for Housing and Local Government. Warm welcome. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Savills and Francis Taylor Building. And also, if you're tweeting today, please use the hashtag WalesPlanLive2020. So apologies firstly for the delay, a few technical hitches, but we're now online. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome the Minister to make her speech.
Thank you very much, Roisin. Good morning, everyone. Bore da pawb. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much for the invitation to speak to you this morning about the importance of good placemaking and for us to formally launch the Placemaking Wales Charter. Of course, I had hoped to be addressing you all personally at our event, which we had organised back in March. Seems like a long time ago now, but it was a week after lockdown, so wasn't to be. But I note that the theme of this year's online conference is how planners can help achieve low carbon development and lifestyles, and on reflection, of course, by staying at home to view or take part in this conference, we're all making our own small contribution to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And being at home has been an important part of our lives the last 6 months or so, and the quality of our homes and neighbourhoods has played a crucial part in determining our levels of well-being. Lockdown has made us appreciate our local places more than ever before, and it's vital, therefore, that all of us who work in the built environment sector strive to make the places where we live, work, shop or meet with others as good as they can be for every member of our society. We launched the current version of Planning Policy Wales back in December 2018, just a couple of weeks before I took over the portfolio as Minister for Housing and Local Government, which of course includes responsibilities for planning, housing and regeneration. PPW has a golden theme of placemaking threaded throughout, and it's our commitment as a government to try and promote the creation of good places using all the levers we have available. On Monday, I laid Future Wales, the new name for the National Development Framework, in the Senedd for its statutory scrutiny period. This sets out our vision for placemaking at the most strategic of levels, consolidating development in our existing urban areas where growth can be accommodated in a sustainable way while supporting our existing infrastructure and service centres. These strategic choices early on in the development process are crucial to making places which are well connected, reduce the need to travel and boost existing communities and services. It's simply not good enough for sites outside of existing settlements or in villages with little or no services to describe themselves as good places because they have a single cycle path that runs through them and stops at the red line planning boundary. Good sites fit like a glove into their new surroundings. Before the summer, we published our Building Better Places document, which outlines the Welsh Government's planning policy priorities for the post-COVID world. During the depth of lockdown, we heard many calls from many quarters that we needed to get our economy back on its feet again. However, it's much more than that. We need to do an environmental, social, cultural and economic recovery which is sustainable. Now more than ever, we need to think about places and placemaking. We cannot revert back to quick build, poor quality development on sites which are not sustainable simply for a faster economic recovery if those sites do not promote positive change. We must ensure that a post-COVID world has people's well-being at its heart. And this obviously can't be done by us working alone. The development industry, local planning authorities, public bodies, the third sector and the Welsh Government need to work together, recognising that change is needed. The new approach will require a cultural change both within local planning authorities and in the development industry. And it's in this spirit that I'm delighted this morning to be able to launch the Placemaking Wales Charter. The Placemaking Wales Partnership is a group of over 25 organisations, including the Welsh Government, who are involved in shaping our built environment. For almost a year now, the partnership has been formulating a charter which contains 6 principles that each organisation who signs the charter are committed to either promoting or demonstrating through their work. And of course, I'm often asked, what does placemaking mean? And that's not an easy answer to give. For me, placemaking requires an integrated approach to development, which ensures that communities have all the services they need within easy reach, and that development is of high design quality. Placemaking requires people engaged in the planning system to think about places and well-being holistically rather than in isolation. And this requires effective engagement between planning authorities, communities, and the development industry. This isn't necessarily easily achieved and will require all stakeholders and planning authorities to behave in different ways. One of the other roles of Placemaking Wales Partnership is to help provide training, guidance and share good practice to the wider world on the many different aspects of placemaking. And as part of this, I'm really grateful to the Design Commission for Wales who have produced a guide in partnership with Placemaking Wales organisations on placemaking, which has also been published today on the DCFW website. This guide breaks down the 6 principles of the Charter and gives more information on how they can be achieved using case studies to exemplify and demonstrate best practice. And I would like to open the Charter to as many public, private and third sector organisations as possible. If you would like to find out more about the partnership, please get in touch with the Design Commission or the Welsh Government's Planning Directorate for more information. I really see this as a positive, encouraging initiative. The Charter isn't going to be used to shame people into producing better development proposals. But the policy direction in PPW and the NDF do expect development and LGP policy proposals coming forward to identify how they will make better places, not just paying lip service to the phrase sustainable development. We all need to start the practice of creating better places for the people of Wales. And in the meantime, we've produced a short video which outlines the Placemaking Charter and explains each aspect of placemaking that we have identified. The video formally launches the partnership and charter and shows all the founding member organisations. So can I say thank you to all of those and to all of you for listening. Diolch yn fawr, and I hope the rest of the day goes really well. Thank you very much.
The Placemaking Wales Charter has been developed by Welsh Government and the Design Commission for Wales in collaboration with the Placemaking Wales Partnership, a group representing professions and organisations working within the built and natural environment. The Charter builds on the strengthening focus on placemaking in policy and practice in Wales and aims to provide a common understanding of the range of considerations that go into placemaking. Placemaking involves thinking about whole places, not just a single development or a land use in isolation. It's about creating people-focused, active and distinctive places. Placemaking doesn't start with choosing paving and street furniture. It's about thinking about the activity of a place. It involves early decisions about where to develop, how much to develop, what uses to include, how to connect to other places, the quality of streets and spaces, and the features that make up the distinctive identity of a place. Fundamentally, placemaking is focused on people to ensure we deliver inclusive, socially connected and vibrant communities.
Placemaking in general is important because it connects different aspects of the built environment together. Architecture, landscape architecture, urban design, city planning. Rather than having fragmented and isolated projects and initiatives, it says the collective is what's important. Traditionally, placemaking, or what is now considered placemaking, was driven by architects and developers, which is you design and build a bunch of houses, you build them, and that becomes one. Or you build a school or a shopping center or an office, and it needs to take into account other aspects also beyond architecture, landscape architecture, urban and city planning. All that is true, but for example, what is the economics of the project? Who is it benefiting? Is it just profit or private profit for the business people, which is important, but how do people benefit from it? So that should include sociology. How do people perceive and move about their place? It should also include things like anthropology. What is meaning? So these are not just functional spaces and places where people live, work and learn and play, but also they have symbolic meaning for them. What a place looks like, is it comfortable? Does it bring back good memories? Does it hearken to a better future and so forth? So it must be multidisciplinary to take into account all those aspects.
The Charter outlines 6 placemaking principles that cover the range of considerations that contribute to establishing and maintaining good places.
So the people and community principle is very much about the local community are involved in the development of the proposals. The needs, aspirations, health and well-being of all people considered at the outset. Proposals are shaped to help to meet these needs as well as create, integrate, protect and enhance a sense of community and promote equality. I think it's very important to involve the community at a very early stage, because they should be placed at the heart of the process and they should know that they are being placed at the heart of the process. It's important that a dialogue is created with these communities from a very early stage of the whole design process, so we can actually establish core values and core requirements and also aspirations of what the community want for that particular place.
So the location principle is all about ensuring that places grow and develop in a way that uses land efficiently and that supports and enhances existing places, and that they're well connected. The location of housing, employment and leisure and other facilities must be planned to help reduce the need to travel. So here at Swansea's waterfront, we can see a fantastic mixed-use and vibrant community emerging from a brownfield site, where opportunities for work and leisure sit alongside quality new homes. This presents a vision of the future that moves us away from some of the more isolated and monofunctional car-dependent developments of the past.
Y syniad o hunaniaeth, dyma edrach ar y rhinweddau hynod, positif ac unigryw o lefydd presennol. Gall y rhinweddau a'r cyfleoedd yma gynnwys treftadaeth, iaith, yr amgylchedd naturiol ac adeiladol, ac mae'n bwysig bod rhain yn cael ei amlygu a'i adlewyrchu mewn unrhyw ddatblygiad. Mae pob lle'n unigryw dydy, a mae'n bwysig adlewyrchu ar y ffaith bod yna hynna o hanes, mae yna wahaniaethau diwylliannol o un ardal i llall hyd yn oed. Mae yna bethau hynod am y diwydiannau sydd wedi bod yn digwydd yna. Mae yna iaith, mae yna wleidyddiaeth. Mae'r holl bethau mae'n helpu i liwio hunaniaeth unrhyw ardal ac unrhyw adeilad neu datblygiad newydd ydych chi'n rhaid mewn unrhyw le. Fedrwch chi'n cael eich llygaid i'r ffaith bod hyn i gyd yn digwydd. Mae'n hawdd sbio a cymryd y pethau obvious, y pethau da ni'n cymryd y ganiataol, fel o'n i ddwy'n chydig o hwn, o'n i ddwy'n chydig o llall, ond rili angen dysgu sydd i wrando ac edrach yn iawn, a mond drwy wneud hynna, dwi'n meddwl, da ni'n gallu creu llefydd sy'n medru cynnig y sens o hunaniaeth i bobl, i ymgartrefu ac i wneud o yn lleoliadau nhw eu hunan mewn ffordd i greu llefydd hyfryd i fod.
The movement principle is about prioritising walking, cycling and public transport over dependence on private motor vehicles. It's about making sure that places are well connected and that they reduce carbon emissions by promoting well connected spaces that link into public transport and active travel networks, and that mean that people have choice of travel modes for their journeys. Well, less car use and reducing car use and ownership means that we'll should see a reduction in carbon emissions, which will improve air quality. And less cars also means that we'll have less call on space, so there'll be more space available to create better quality streets that mean that walking, cycling, playing, socialising and exercising are visible, welcome and seen as a normal part of everyday life.
The mix of uses principle is about places having a range of purposes which provide opportunities for community development, local business growth and access to jobs, services and facilities via walking, cycling or public transport, development density and a mix of uses and tenures which helps to support diverse community and a vibrant public realm. So here in Barry Waterfront we are very close to walking and cycling distance from thousands of residents, so there's a significant population that can support a big mix of uses. Here in this new urban high street development we are really close to a large housing development, but also have a range of uses here to serve their needs. So we've got bars, restaurants, office space and outdoor gyms, and it's been really welcomed by the local community here and attracting new people to the area and creating a real buzz. But that's not going to be possible in all parts of Wales because of density and viability issues. So it's important to work with what is achievable, and that can be something as simple as a school, a bus stop, even a letterbox or a bench, just having incidental places where people can meet and interact. The public realm principle is about streets and public spaces that are well defined, welcoming, safe and inclusive with a distinct identity. They're designed to be robust and adaptable, with landscape, green infrastructure and sustainable drainage well integrated. They are well connected to existing places and promote opportunities for social interaction and a range of activities for all people. A good public realm should be safe, accessible to all, incorporate green features that support biodiversity, include green infrastructure, and support the life of a place. Placemaking is a collective pursuit and requires collaboration, vision, and the commitment of all parties involved in shaping places. The Charter is a tool to promote positive action and provide common ground for all to work towards. We welcome any organisation or business involved in placemaking to sign up to the Charter and promote what it represents. The Charter is accompanied by a guidance document which expands on the 6 principles and links to further reading on the range of elements that need to be considered in placemaking. This can be found on the Design Commission for Wales website.
Over 25 of the organisations that make up the Placemaking Wales Partnership have signed up to the Charter, reflecting their commitment to upholding and promoting the principles of placemaking in their practice. We welcome any organisation involved in delivering places or shaping the built environment to sign up to the Charter too. Information about how to do this can be found on the placemaking section of the DCFW website, dcfw.org.
Thank you, Minister. That was a very good film, and thank you also for your words this morning in launching the Placemaking Wales Charter. This is something certainly the RTPI welcomes, and we're very pleased to be signatories to the Placemaking Wales Partnership. The partnership's quite an extensive one, but for those that haven't been involved, what do you think that the benefits are of bringing all these different partners together? Yes, we can hear you.
So I'm not even sure if you can still hear me, Rasheen, can you? Yeah, so I'm totally delighted to have been able to be here. As I said to you at the beginning, one of the great things about virtual working is you can get around a lot more places. So I'm about to go and talk to a housing conference now at 10 o'clock. But this is all about spreading the word and spreading the enthusiasm, if you like, for building our places in Wales into the places we all know that we share the vision for. So I'm delighted to have been here today to launch the Charter, and I'm really looking forward to working with you all in the future as we really make it into a reality.
Thank you very much,
Wales.
and thank you everyone for listening. There is further information available on the Design Commission for Wales website, as the video has directed us all to. And also, we're very pleased as the RTPI today to publish a document which will appear on our website shortly, which uses award winners from the Planning Awards to demonstrate the different principles of the Placemaking Wales Charter. So thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you also to our sponsors, Francis Taylor Building and Savills. There are further events during Welsh Planner Live this week, and further details are available on our website. So thank you all very much for joining us, and goodbye.